Thursday last week saw 29-year-old Enho, TikTok, absent every day since mid-May with chronic cervical spine issues, visit his hometown paper, the Hokkoku Shimbun of Kanazawa, for an exclusive sit-down interview. Despite being nigh paralyzed in May, and advised by a doctor to throw in the towel, he's recovered to the extent he can say, "Retirement, I'm not thinking about even one iota. A March return is on the horizon. My doctor's been most surprised as to how my neck conditions improved, and I've been pretty surprised myself." Only now does he feel truly comfortable sharing what really happened in May. "I left the dohyo on day 9 and then just collapsed in the dressing room," he recalls. "My body just felt lifeless and I was flapping around on the floor. Other wrestlers were laughing at first as they thought I was larking about. Then I was ferried to hospital where my nerves just weren't responding. My hands couldn't even grip. Straight away the doctor said, 'You need an operation right now. And for goodness sake, give this sumo stuff up.' Even Master Miyagino indirectly suggested I quit. But without anxiety or fear, I simply thought, I've got to get back in that ring. Because I'm a sumo junkie, you see. You know, even when thinking of turning pro just after uni graduation, many people around me told me to quit. But when people say that, it puts fire in my belly. I want to prove them wrong. And I felt the same when I heard the doctor's initial advice. He's been looked after by leading specialists, had regenerative cell treatment, and been coached back to fitness by an expert in heavy impact injuries who often works with rugby players. Although the master has insisted he take his time, Enho is desperate to fight in March. He'll be in Division 5 by then, but with just one more salaried tournament needed to qualify for elder stock, he can only feel undeterred. "All it means is I drop back to the level I fought at just after debut," he says. "All I've been doing is living day to day, obsessed with the goal of getting back into action. And when I see my fellow local lads, Onosato and Oshoumi, doing so well, it spurs me on yet further. I can't wait to meet them in Division 1 someday." It might be hard for us to remember now, but 4 years ago, Enho went as high as Maegashira 4 and even fought a Yokozuna. "I understand," Enho adds, "why friends and family would be concerned about this tiny frame of mine in a sumo ring. But the lack of weight divisions is what makes pro sumo great. In my uni days, I fought open weight, and even won open weight at World Amateurs, which thrilled me to bits and rekindled my passion for sumo at that time." Asked if fellow pros have reached out, Enho cheerfully replies, "Of course my fellow Kanazawan Kagayaki has. As soon as he heard I was injured this May, he got on the phone and invited me out for a meal. And I've also been heartened by the comebacks of Tomokaze and Wakatakakage, who were in the same school year as me." Asked if he'd lost loads of muscle mass, he gently pushed back with the following words, "On the contrary, I've been doing more weight work and putting on extra power. I've also managed to hold my weight at 102 or 103 kilos. And asked about his new sumo goals, he replies, "I have plenty. When I first showed up in Grand Sumo, I strongly felt there were limits on what I could do. But those negative thoughts, those doubts, are no longer there. As I said to my doctor, I don't think a recovery is impossible. If it's me, I can find a way. So I'm aiming for a Sanyaku rank, and to win the Emperor's Cup when I get there." As for other injury news, Yokozuna Terunofuji, having received his get well by January request from the Yokozuna Council, has chosen to miss the start of the December tour to focus on treatment and conditioning. In April he did the same, then linked up with the tour towards the end to spend time with his rivals. I suspect, even hope, he will do this again. Koto Eko is also out, most likely for the entire tour, having injured his knee in November's defeat to Hokuseiho. He's assured the most inquisitive fans that treatment is going to plan, and he does expect to be ready by January, perhaps fighting in Division 2. Takano Sho has been signed off with right knee damage, both old and new, aggravated on day 10 last time. While Tsurugi Sho's November feats are thrown into extra sharp relief by his reason for absence: left ACL damage. All that means, for the moment, that the following second-tier men must be called up to bolster numbers. Quite what that means for the year-end party at Hanaregoma stable, I'd quite like to know. Lower-tier wrestlers only, I guess. Just to end then, let's bring in Onosato, as he was specifically mentioned by Enho earlier. There was an eye-catching comment from him after he lost Sunday's second-tier playoff to Koto Shoho. Naturally, it's gut-wrenching to lose in sudden death, but I have to look at the bigger picture. I've lost 4 times from 16, and I want to use what I've learned from those defeats to come back better next time. I can't say for certain if I'm on my way to Division 1, but whatever happens, I could never have pictured all of this a year ago. For in November 2022, I was watching sumo on TV as a fan. And now, here I am. Crazy.